Best believe I'm still bejeweled when I walk in the room. I can still make the whole place simmers. This is my first time using this camera outside of OBS, just the camera. So if there's anything wrong with the picture, I'm out of focus or something, sorry for that. I am still navigating it. This is the end of my quarterly Q&A project. This series made me realize once again how fast time passes. Like, it's been 9 months of these videos. It's already December. So let me answer some questions for you one last time. Do you have any headcanons for Sims families? I said in my tier list of Pleasant View Sims that I think Mortimer Goth is not being manipulated by Dina in any way. Like, I mean, she's probably trying. She is using him, but I don't think he is oblivious to it. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He just wants to have a young wife because he's not stupid. I think he really knows that she probably doesn't really love him, but he's just like, yeah, she's hot. I don't really have much time left. Let's do it. That's one of the headcanons I have. In one of the previous videos, Q&As, I also said something about like ships that I do, like Brandy, Broken Darren Dreamer, you know, stuff like that. So that's also kind of like a headcanon. Do you have a storyline, an idea for a family that you really wanted to implement, but it didn't fit in any of the custom neighborhoods you've created so far? Kinda, but it's not exactly like that. It's more like I have some storylines in my head that happened after I made the neighborhoods, but I just haven't thought of as many to make a new neighborhood out of that. Does that make sense? Like, there is a neighborhood that I'm kind of, like, I started working on like 2 years ago, and I haven't touched it for like a while. There are some cool things, and I actually built some houses that I think are really cute and nice, but I don't really have enough storylines or enough like motivation to finish it, so it might not happen. But one of the storylines that I have in my head, actually two, I think, were supposed to be in that neighborhood, so maybe one day, I don't know. Would you prefer Maxis Match or Conversions custom content? And do you make sure your game is consistent? You have a great holiday too. Love the question. Actually, I don't really see that much difference. Like, when it comes to conversion CC, like from The Sims 4 that I have a lot of, I actually consider it just Maxis Match. I mean, I know it's a conversion, but to me, Maxis Match and conversion from The Sims 4 is kind of like in the same soup. Pink soup, if you will. My favorite kind of Maxis Match is the one that actually looks like it's from the game. Like, there are only a few creations like that, like Fancy Lamb makes stuff like that. There's really not much. On Mod The Sims, you can also find a few. I don't think my game is consistent. It's definitely not. Like, you can just take a peek at my videos and you'll see immediately that it's not. But at the same time, I'm kind of picky. Like, I don't like Maxis Match that is just like alpha hair clayified, retextured to look kind of Maxis Match. I don't like all of those hairs because I don't like when the hair just like sticks out like that, or that there are a lot of like single hairs just floating around. I don't really like that. If I ever download a hair like that, sometimes it's even a Sims 4 conversion, and it looks like that, I immediately just delete it because that's too much. This is something that I really don't like in my game. So yeah, like it's still, to this day, I still have some hairs in my game that I just don't use because I don't like them, but I'm too lazy to delete them. It's like 1 or 2, so it's like, yeah, it's too much hassle for just like one hair, you know? From time to time when I download new stuff, I also cleanse some of the old stuff because I also cleanse the new stuff. It's not like I download something and it's just in my game forever. It's like I check how it actually looks in the game. And usually, let's say I downloaded 10 hairs, I will probably delete like 4 of them because I will just not like them. So on one hand, I'm pretty picky. On the other hand, my game still isn't consistent because there are a few types of Maxis Match hair that I like, conversions included. I have some conversions from The Sims 3 as well, but they are probably a little easier to retexture, to match The Sims 2. And I know that a lot of people actually think The Sims 4 stuff doesn't match The Sims 2 at all. Some people actually like wanna have The Sims 2 in the aesthetics of The Sims 4, so they have skin and eye replacements that are very similar to The Sims 4, or even conversions from The Sims 4, and only Sims 4 hairs in their game. That's super valid. I just have kind of like a mix of a few things. Can you please recommend us other Sims content creators? You mean competition? Do you like Juno Birch? If so, what is your favorite video moment? I love Juno, and I also know that she knows about Plant Alates, which is freaking insane. I am still waiting for her to play the neighborhood because I know she has the ultimate collection now. I will cry. I will legit cry when she does that. My favorite video of Juno's is probably, it's the Sims 4 video because she made a video where she looked through creations on the gallery that were supposed to be her, you know, like people made her in The Sims. And it's like, that video is so hilarious. Her laugh, whenever she looks at the creations, is just too much. Like, I even got inspired by that video and made a very similar one on my Polish channel. Of course, I referred to the original video and even gave a link, I think. Gave her credit for the idea anyway. Like, it's not like a super original idea, but I got this idea watching her video. So it's not about the idea, it's about how she did that. It's just like, this video is so funny. But you know, like the older Strange Town videos where she does a makeover to Kristen Singles and like Joy Desperate and all that stuff, like the lore, you know? Like, I don't think she is very fluent in like SimPE and stuff like that. Like, she doesn't actually do a lot of technical stuff in the game. So I assume that Joy Desperate just randomly generated with that name. She is a downtownie that is originally a teenager, and she can just be generated with a random name, like any name. And in her game, she was generated as Joy Desperate. Like, it definitely, a name like that is in the generator, so I don't think she edited it. So it's just like, from one fortunate thing, she made like a whole lore. Such a creative person. But from other creators, you know, the big ones, Plumbella, Only Abidong, LGR, definitely, Lazy Game Reviews. He's my guru when it comes to, like, reviews of The Sims expansion packs. Because it just feels like he has exactly the same taste in The Sims. Like, he likes the same kind of gameplay, and maybe not the same gameplay exactly, but the same kind of stuff to have in his game. So whenever he makes a review of an expansion pack, I'm like, this is it. Like, I can totally rely on that, personally. Of course, now with The Sims 4, he only reviews expansion packs, the big ones, because there's just too much stuff. But still, like, he's a total king when it comes to that. And he also just makes great content. A lot of retro stuff, retro gear, retro games. I am into retro games a little bit, so I sometimes watch that stuff too. From smaller creators, I would definitely recommend Sammy Sundog. Super creative, beautiful thumbnails. I lurk into their channel sometimes or watch live streams on Twitch sometimes too, or on YouTube. They multi-stream, so yeah. Does Cutipus like make content still? I need to check. Is that how you pronounce his name? I'm not sure. Anyway. Okay, Cutipus doesn't really do much these days when it comes to The Sims, but you know, you can watch just like his older videos, and that's really cool stuff. He also makes a lot of custom neighborhoods with scripted events and stuff like that, so also check out his Mod The Sims page. But when you just go to my channel, when you go to the homepage and scroll down a little bit, you can see the check them out section, and Cutipus is there, but also Leto Mills, of course. Their video on chemistry in The Sims 2 is freaking insane, and they make like really informative videos on The Sims 2, like deep dives into the technicalities, definitely more than I do. And they only have like 1,600 subscribers. Like, that's definitely not enough. April Black, of course, the videos about corruption in Bella Goth, super informative too. Also technical deep dives, but you probably know about her, right? Calipers and Tongs, you know, like stuff with breaking neighborhoods and stuff like that, and like breaking create a sim and making sims die and create a sim. Also really cool stuff. And I also have Crazy Mark here, and he also makes some informative videos like about details and also mods, and also compares different installments of The Sims in certain aspects, kind of like The Sims Plum Bob. Is that the channel? The Red Plum Bob. Oh yeah. But that's like a huge ass channel, so yeah, you probably know it. Aside of Sammy Sondag that I sometimes watch on Twitch, like pretty much the only person that I regularly watch on Twitch is Laurentino69. For some reason, I am obsessed with this person. She rarely streams The Sims, and it's usually The Sims 1, sometimes The Sims 2, but she just does like variety content, but whatever. She can crush it on a stream and I will still watch it, not ever crocheting in my entire life. So her, I don't really watch for The Sims exactly, I watch her for her. But I recommend, check her out and see for yourself how much of an engaging person she is. I don't know how she does that. And she's also a viewer of mine. Hi Larry. Yeah, I know, what are we? Also, oh god, I don't know how to pronounce the name of this channel, of course. Weezia? Weezia? I have no idea. They also make really informative videos on The Sims 2. I've noticed a little bit of mistakes, like they rely on the Prima Guide a lot, and the Prima Guide isn't always right. Yeah, but still you can find out really a lot about The Sims 2 in these videos, so I recommend that too. And also another viewer of mine has a channel, it's called Cruza Sims. Again, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. She introduces herself in every video, but still, I can't remember. Anyway, I will give you all of these channels in the description, so it doesn't matter if I can pronounce the name. You know, this is a new channel, probably needs some technical improvement or something, but it's also pretty interesting stuff. Honestly, I only watched one video, but it looks really promising. Not many subscribers, not many views, so if you want something really niche, this is the one. Have you ever played SimCity? Yes, only SimCity 4, the one where you can make maps for The Sims 2, because that's what I bought it for, and then I never made any maps. You know, it's still ahead of me, I can still do it. But I've never played any of the other SimCities. I remember playing SimCity 4, I think that was 4, when I was like 11, just after it came out. Maybe I was 12. I could have been 11, I guess, because it was like 2003. And I just totally couldn't understand how it actually worked. SimCity 4 is really hard. It's a really hard game. And for some time, I think that was like 2 years ago, probably, I sunk into it for a while because it was just like super challenging, and I played it a lot for like a few days, and then completely abandoned it. I also have City Skylines installed on my computer, not the new one, like City Skylines 1, not 2, and I've never played it. I am planning to try it. What is the hardest part of maintaining 2 YouTube channels at the same time? Aside of just making more videos than you normally would because you have 2 channels, that's pretty obvious. I think, to me, the biggest struggle, it's not really like a struggle, but like the hardest thing is probably deciding which content goes to which channel. Like, you know, when I have an ongoing gameplay, that's easy, but when there is a neighborhood I want to play, or when there is a certain topic I want to do, I sometimes have to decide which channel gets the video. And sometimes I make videos in just like the same video in both languages, but I try to avoid that. I only do it if I feel like I have to. Whenever there is the same topic. On this channel, I focus on The Sims 2 specifically. This is a Sims 2 channel, and my Polish channel is more like the whole range of Sims games. So if I make a video on a certain topic, On the Polish channel, I usually cover all the Sims, and on this channel, only the Sims 2. So I try not to make the same video in both languages over and over because I just don't feel like that's fair. I don't know, maybe that's stupid thinking, but and also that would probably make me burn out pretty quickly if I constantly did that. Sometimes I get a single comment on a Polish video saying, oh, I wish you did that on the English channel because I'm Ukrainian and I don't really understand everything that you're saying. Or more often, Polish people saying that I should have done a certain video in Polish instead of English, or both. And yeah, that is the hardest thing because I just don't want to do the same thing on both channels, and sometimes it's just like a decision to make. 22. Stolen or Taylor's version? Which is better according to you? According to me, this is not a good song in general. I use it for the memes, but honestly, like, I have a Taylor Swift playlist that has, wait, how many songs? 102 songs, and 22 is not there. But I think Taylor's version is better because it's just like better quality, I would say. In general, when it comes to Taylor's versions, if the song is not very different from the original in a bad way, like Girl at Home from Red, I can't get past that. I just go for the Taylor's version because if it's the same but it's not stolen, I'll take it. Did you watch Disney's Pocahontas as a kid and did you like it? Growing up in Poland, I had it on VHS, and I still love Pocahontas to this day, especially the songs in Polish. But recently I've read that the production wasn't that successful in the US, and that many people hated it. From my perspective, Pocahontas was a very strong, likable female character, and the love story was very universal. I think I watched it as a kid and I liked it. People in the family told me I did, but I just can't remember that because I was like 4 or something. But in my 20s, I think. I might have been 22. I watched it again, like I didn't remember it, so it was kind of like watching it for the first time, and I liked it. It inspired me to actually read a lot about the founding of the US, and honestly, I can kind of understand why Americans didn't like this movie if they really didn't, because you know, like, it's a tough place to go. Like, some Americans probably don't want to think about Native Americans that much, and the colonies and stuff like that. Also, there are probably a lot of Americans who knew the real story of Pocahontas, and that's why they didn't like the movie, because her story is extremely romanticized in that movie. Even in the second movie that isn't as heartfelt, it's not even close to what she really went through. You know, like being held hostage when she was like 12, probably sexually abused, bearing a child still in her teen years. That was pretty normal for that time, but she died at like 20 or 21 of illness. So it's just not a romantic story, okay? So I guess this is something that might have annoyed a lot of people. I totally get that. And I can imagine that even in the US, some people don't realize that this was a real person, but especially in Poland, I think a lot of people don't realize that it was a real person, so they just treat it as a fictional thing. If you treat it like that, it looks like a really beautiful story. For not Polish people, some info, some insight. There are certain movies, especially animations, I think, that kind of have their own life in Poland due to the translation. Shrek is definitely one of them. Like, Shrek is extremely popular in Poland. I know it's worldwide popular, but in Poland, it's just like, I watched it in both language versions, in Polish and in English, and it just wasn't that good in English. Like, this is the total exception. Like, usually I like to watch stuff in the original if I know the language, or sometimes just in English instead of Polish, even if English is not the original language, because Polish dub can just be really bad sometimes. But when it comes to Shrek and also Disney movies in a lot of cases, it's, you know, like, they just become like this very classic thing, specifically in Poland, due to like a song that is sung in the movie. The song from Pocahontas in English is like, it's fine, but in Polish, Like, it makes me cry. I don't know, it's just like so different. Unfortunately, the lady who sings this song is kind of cuckoo, so I can't really talk about it without cringing, but the song itself is good. Her voice is really good. I heard that even some people who are not Polish, from just outside of Poland, listen to this song in Polish, not understanding a single thing, and they still think it's beautiful. So yeah, there are just those singular things that are like that. Okay, so I might be wrong here, but I think you said something about studying library science in college. Did you enjoy that? What type of stuff did you learn, and would you recommend it? I only did a master's in librarianship, library science, whatever you call it. Actually, now, first of all, this field of study is not available everywhere in Poland. It's like, even here in the Tri-City where I live now, there hasn't been a field like that for years and years. So when I actually worked at a library for like 3 months in my life a few years ago, people in that work were asking me where I finished this field of study, because in Gdańsk it's just like it hasn't been there for a while, and I had to say Łódź. But even my own field is now called differently. It's like information science or something like that. The library part of it is just not there anymore. It's more like you learn efficient ways to find information. I think it's an interesting place to go. If you're interested in like databases, it wasn't really required for you to have this diploma to work at a library. My boss at the library that I worked at just had Polish studies finished, and that's it. That's all you need. You can pretty much go for any humanistic studies and just work at a library. You don't have to go for a special field to have to be qualified for that. Like, librarianship wasn't a field that opens up a career for you. I think the most interesting thing for me to learn, I think most of it I learned during practice, like internship, let's say. This is something that you have to do during the studies, is how to actually like register new books into the library registry. It isn't just like you type in the author and the title and it's done. Like, you have to do a lot of extra steps to actually register a book. That's also why some libraries won't just take your books, like your old books that you have in your house and you don't need them, or you inherited them from someone and you just want to put them in a library, because it's just so much work to register those books. So some libraries actually refuse to take books. Maybe there is like a shelf that they just place the books there and it's just like you can take them. Some libraries have that, and that is probably because registering a book is a lot of hassle. Thoughts on Lana Del Rey? She's okay, I guess. I used to not like her music, even though my boyfriend is a fan, because I just felt like she sleeps instead of singing. It's too chill. It's too chill for me. I mean, I listened to her music because I was like, okay, I shouldn't be hating on her not actually knowing like a full album or something. So I listened to it and it's okay. Like, now I'm kind of like indifferent about her, I guess. Like, she is on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to pop for me. I like pop that is exactly in between too chill and too jumpy. Like, I can't really listen much to Lady Gaga, for example, because her pop music is just too jumpy. Okay, now I know that the battery in this camera lasts like 45 minutes if I don't plug it to the computer. I listened to Lana's new album and it was just like boring, I guess. Sorry. Okay, I just needed it to charge up a little bit. Can I just say how much I love that I can just plug it to the computer and it freaking charges, like, and that there's no limit on recording. Like, I can record for eternity if I have it plugged in. This is the best thing that happened to me. Anyway, next question, the last one actually. How is Christmas in Poland, the traditions, etc.? How are you going to pass the Christmas days this year? What do you think about Christmas in general? What do you like and dislike about it? Greetings from Germany. Greetings from Poland. The traditions for Christmas in Poland can vary in each family, in each region. Poland actually has regions and they are different from one another. We have regional languages and stuff like that, and not only like, you know, the Silesian and the Kashubian, that is actually a separate language, but like regional words that are only said in certain places in Poland. I think every country has that, but when it comes to smaller countries and European countries, I guess people usually don't realize that it's like that. You know, there were very different influences from other countries or whatever, and people in the extreme north are very far away from people in the extreme south, right? Poland is not really that small. I think the most common and the most Poland-wide tradition is the Lent. On Christmas Eve, we're not supposed to eat meat, only fish, so that's basically my diet, so like whatever, it's any day for me. But in some regions, people also don't eat sweets on Christmas Eve, or only like the poppy seed roll or something, because it's just not as sweet and it's not as fat, but like cheesecake or whatever else we eat when it comes to sweets is just like left for the next days after Christmas Eve. I think this is like the most special thing. Like not really a lot of people follow the fasting thing during Christmas, especially Christmas Eve and a little bit before Christmas. This is a Catholic thing, right? So probably Italian people usually follow it. I don't know, but you know, not everyone in Poland actually follows it. I know people who don't. My mom is very strict when it comes to that, but we do eat cake and any sweets that we want during that time. Usually in the east of Poland, people also try not to eat too many sweets or like fat things in general. But on the 25th, you can already just eat whatever you want. And usually you prepare it on the Christmas Eve, which is just like, yeah, okay. I think what's different about my Christmas specifically is that I don't really meet up with a lot of family during Christmas Eve. Like barely anyone really. So it's not like for Christmas Eve I sit at the table with like 20 people, of which 13 I don't like. It's like, it's very modest. Okay, I should have had the camera plugged in the entire time. Navigating. If you're wondering if we also have this thing where we sit at the Christmas table and eventually start arguing about politics, yes, we do. Not in my case exactly, because as I said, modest Christmas Eve, but this is like a general thing that people complain about. But doing it, we just eat a lot of cabbage because we're Polish people. And pierogi, of course. Pierogi are like the ultimate Christmas Eve dish. If anyone has a Christmas Eve without any kind of pierogi, what are you doing? Reconsider your life choices. And what I think about Christmas in general, well, let's start with I'm an atheist. So, like, whatever, Jesus. So I only celebrate Christmas as a tradition, I guess, like as a general holiday. I don't really connect it to religion. I can take a few days off without feeling bad about it because everyone does it. It's just that time when you can rewind a little and visit your family. And I think I can say that I like the decorating and the overall feeling of it and Christmas songs more than actual holiday. You know what I mean? And there's also this one thing that always felt pretty foreign whenever I saw an American Christmas movie or just like a Christmas theme in a TV show or whatever, that people looked for presents under the Christmas tree on Christmas Day. I know that this is probably like the default, that Christmas is Christmas and Christmas is the day where you give and receive presents, but I don't know if it's a Polish thing or a me thing, my family thing, but I've literally never exchanged presents on Christmas Day. It was always on Christmas Eve after the dinner. And when I was younger, of course, my parents tried to make like a mystery out of it so that the presents appeared out of nowhere, technically, you know. Even though the Christmas tree was in my brother's room, so that was even harder. Even now, my mom tries to kind of like sneak the Christmas presents. It's awkward, okay? But yeah, but it only ever happened on Christmas Eve, never on actual Christmas. So thank you for joining me in all of the Q&As and submitting questions. I will not repeat this project next year or maybe even ever. If you need something from me, you can always message me. I am super PM friendly. Best would be on Instagram, I guess, because the Facebook page is just really bad. You can tag me on Twitter. You can ask me questions in live streams. Live streams are especially for engaging with my audience and getting to know you guys. So, and letting you get to know me a little bit. So, Merry Christmas or whatever you're celebrating. Have a nice end of the year and also Happy New Year. And as always, thank you very much for watching, subscribing, and stuff like the video, and see you in the next one. Bye!